Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is Tim Brown, and this is the Hook Better Lead podcast. Tell me more about your story, though, Diego, because I know that a lot of people see you on the internet, on the Facebook groups, etc., and you come from roofing.com. But before that, you were from Uruguay originally?
Yeah, I was born in Uruguay. My family moved to the United States when I was 9 years old.
And you said you were like sleeping on the floor of a hut almost in Uruguay, you said. I know that you're
being
dramatic.
You exaggerated a little bit. We had a little shack. It was probably like,
Hut, shack, come on,
man. It was probably
man.
like, 15 feet by 15 feet, like a small, very small house.
I feel you. So coming from that to the United States, what is do you feel like some Americans take things for granted sometimes? What is your biggest takeaway from being somebody that grew up in that to now being in the United States? How do you feel about that?
I mean, I just feel like I've made it very conscious, to just be very, just to take advantage of my opportunities. I keep those, that's at the forefront of everything I do. Of like, how can I take advantage of the American dream and not make it to where my parents moving here was in vain. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I saw, we came here from Uruguay when I was in high school. I saw my dad struggle through 2008, and then just getting out of all that, I just see a lot of opportunity that I think is missed from people, and so I just see the roofing industry in general just as a way to be able to just take advantage of the American dream, and especially for people I'm very driven and very entrepreneurial and all that, but I did terrible in school. And so for me, this is just the roofing industry is just my opportunity to just take advantage of the American dream.
So you were part of roofing.com and Revolt and RoofCon, and then you were a roofing salesperson before that, so you had a lot of contacts. You were able to be part of
marketing. I was in marketing before that.
Okay.
So,
right.
Yeah.
So, and then almost
so I was in sales, then I was
yeah.
in marketing for 5 years, and then I fell into roofing, and I was doing roofing sales, and then Hunter Ballou hired me as his first full-time salesperson, or his first full-time employee at RoofCon at the time, which turned into roofing.com. And our whole task was hey, let's put together RoofCon, and that was the first big. He'd had the smaller event, and then he wanted to bring on a team to be able to grow that, and so he brought me on as part of the team because he knew I had some marketing experience and I had some roofing experience. And that was right at the beginning. That was in 2020, right when the pandemic was starting to happen, and there was some writing on the wall there of hey, I might be home for a few weeks or something. And so I was hey, let me sell some sponsorships over the phone first. That's kind of how it started. Hey, let me just sell some sponsorships for you. And then it turned into, hey, let's build a whole team around it. And that's, ended up doing, went from 60 people that he had at RoofCon the year before to we had 881 people right in the middle of COVID.
With and the hype machine was real.
Yeah, that was our big thing. Was we were talking about that yesterday or this morning of our big thing was how do we get a ton of people here, and then how do we just build a ton of FOMO for the people that weren't able to come?
All right, give me 30 seconds on how you created FOMO on that event, just for us folks trying to make cool roofing events.
Yeah, so we had photos running every hour. We were posting batches of photos, right? We were tagging people. We put everything else and encourage people to tag their friends. We had we wanted everyone to be an ambassador for RoofCon. Mm-hmm. And there was so much hype around it, and there was also a lot of people that were talking crap about it on
but that kind of helps sometimes, weirdly.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because we would entertain.
We had a sales surge when Lee Height called it our event bullshit, and then we had really good stuff in Orlando.
Yeah. I mean, it literally is every opportunity to just get your name out was just huge for us when you're that small, and people would say we had someone that said something about us. It's funny because it's one of your customers. And Corey. It's so funny because now
Hey,
I'm
Corey.
friends with him. I'm friends with him now.
Oh yeah, I like
And,
see that in the Facebook group. It's funny
He made
because
this
you guys
post.
kicked him out. Didn't you block him from the group?
So I blocked him from the group.
Oh, you were the
because-
guy who blocked him.
So he made this
What
post.
do you have to say for your customer, Mike Stearns?
I think there was
Miscommunication.
there was a teaching moment there, and I think perception is really important, and what your intentions are can be misconstrued.
That gets to the bottom of, is it a
So,
cult?
but here,
Yeah, go, is it a cult?
I mean, I guess so. I'll accept it. I'll take that.
Contractors love the catch-all because it makes every single one of their roof builds easier and more profitable. Protective netting wraps facade and landscaping to prevent from left-behind nails and damage. Homeowner referrals bring you more jobs, and insurance supplements bring you more profits. But my favorite part, the branding.
So, but the thing was, he said something negative about what we were doing, and we literally printed it on a T-shirt. So, all these things, like anytime someone would say something negative, we'd either clap back or we would put it on a T-shirt. Or
So you
we'd
didn't
make
avoid the issue
graphics, or we would-
completely, yeah.
No, we would embrace it. And so, like, people would say stuff like that. Oh, you guys are doing a cult and stuff like that. And we, again, just embrace the, we would put that on stickers or put it on whatever, and like just embrace every sort of negative.
So you're kind of leaning into the punch and firing off a counter.
Yeah, or we would say it before they would even say it.
Hey, so as you transitioned out of, I know that your American dream kind of pushed you on to the next thing, which is Roofers LLC. Talk to me about how the difficulty of that starting, and then as you've started to kind of catch a stride with that now, how has that journey gone for you?
Well, I was the big part, and I think a lot of people could probably relate with this, of like, I went from my entire career just being a department of one, in every company I was at, it was either, I was a salesperson and I was just had to be self-motivated, but it's like, I am the department, or like doing marketing, like I was a department of one person, or doing sales or working with the RoofCon. And so now it's like having to transition into being a leader. That was being a leader, but also having the humility to realize now that like I didn't know everything. And there's been a lot of learning opportunities. First few months it was really rocky, of like, just trying to figure stuff out, and but just being really hard-headed.
Sounded like cash flow and just trying to like actually do big things with lower cash.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's just a lot of, again, it's just all learning opportunities of like just being very just willing to learn from those situations. And here this month, like, we started implementing EOS. We've started.
Yes, Traction, the book Traction, everybody.
Yeah, we're doing really good with that. We've had our focus day and our vision building day, and I didn't hire, an implementer. So I just read the book and I watched a bunch of videos online. I was like, I'm going to self-implement. And so, self-implementing EOS.
Because that shit's expensive. I'll be real.
Yeah.
An actual Traction implementer, oh my God. I mean, I'm not saying don't
pricey.
do it. I'm saying like a small business cannot afford it.
Yeah. So, and luckily
Small business.
Luckily I had, we had implemented it into roofing.com. And so I understood like how the meetings worked and all that stuff. And we helped people in the Revolt program. And so I was pretty familiar with it. But so that's helped a ton, just outsourcing a lot of the things that are the more, the things that other people are better at, outsourcing that stuff. So the stuff in the field, outsourcing sales, just bringing people on to be able to delegate those tasks to other people in my organization. So I'm not doing every single little thing, and I can spend more time focusing on the more high leverage activities that I know that I'm good at, of the, marketing and business development.
You're like the main guy for this business now, though, right? Like you're like the basically kind of the COO or CEO of this company. So how do you deal? And I know that this is real for you, the being out on a limb a little bit. How do you deal with the anxiety of hiring and knowing that you might have to fire if something goes crazy? Like how have you dealt with that anxiety of being a CEO?
A lot of it, I mean, I'm learning, you know, so that's the harder part of like, you know, I just want to be friends with everyone, and so that's hard of like trying to, you know, figure out at what point, you know, do you get rid of someone or whatever. Luckily, I've had, you know, good luck with the people that I've brought on, but yeah, I mean, a lot of it is just staying true to the process. Like EOS just has helped a lot with that because of like I gotta have like right people in the right seats. You know what I mean? And so a lot of that is like
hire and fire, core values, and all that.
Yeah. And so like there was this one guy that was beating down my door that I was like, man, this guy's gonna be perfect for our organization, but I didn't have the right seat for him. And so I had to call him and I had to say, sorry, man, like I can't hire you. And just putting that process over, you know, just running your business that way instead of just making rash decisions, and that's helped a lot too.
So you're basically like 6 months in right now?
I'm about 6 months in.
I feel like you've lived a couple years of life in 6 months. That being a CEO will do that to you. Is there any final words for other people that are kind of just starting up in this industry that you would give strong advice to?
Surround yourself with people that know what they're doing. So find other people that have already done what you've done and learn from them and be able to ask questions. That's a huge one. The things that you're really good at, focus on doing those things. Delegate the things that you're not great at. Be really smart with your cash flow. And I think those are probably the biggest ones that I would say.
Awesome. Thank you, Diego.
Appreciate it.
Do you want to say your name, your full name again, and then maybe the .com, just so people can check you guys out if they want?
Yeah, so Diego Dante Roofers LLC is the name of the company, and roofersllc.com is our website.
Follow them on social and stuff.
Yeah, all the socials is Roofers LLC, at Roofers LLC. So.
Sweet. Thank you, sir.